Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and we're back with another random destruction, and I'm in my tier 10 Chieftain, and we're on Prokhorovka Standard Battle, obviously a tier 10 match. Now, quick rundown of the stats: hull, meh; turret, awesome; gun, godlike. But no, sorry, right, gun, 120mm, minus 11 degrees of gun depression, 270 pen on your standard APCR, 310 on your premium, 400 damage, 7.27 rounds a minute before equipment and skills, aim time 1.5 seconds, accuracy 0.32. Most of you will probably know about this because I would imagine that a lot of people have been watching reviews on this. 85mm on the front of your hull, which your lower plate makes well, that makes it a bit of a problem, but your upper plate is quite bouncy and trolly, to be honest. I have bounced quite a few shots off my upper plate. 42 kilometers an hour, so it's no slouch. 40 degree hull traverse, 30 on the turret, and 51 mil on the side of your hull, which is very poor, and a paltry 25 on the back. Your turret 250 on the front, well, average. That's sort of almost just at the front. As we know from the armour viewer, it is a mess of different angles and thicknesses. 140 on the sides, 30 on the rear. Now, those rear armours, they can be a bit of a problem. Like I say, if you're disappearing around a corner and something catches the back of you and you're in say a 215B, chances are they'll bounce if the angle's high enough. Whereas with this, even if they just clip the back of you as you're disappearing around a corner, more than likely going to overmatch and penetrate your armour. And I think I'm finally getting a handle on how to play the Chieftain at the minute. You see, I mean, I did the review of this, and I don't think I gave really any sort of hints as to the play style, because it was quite a new tank to me, and if I do a review of a tank, I generally don't give any advice on the play style unless I'm pretty familiar with it and I know what works. And even then, I don't tend to say this is how you should play it. I do occasionally, like with the T29. Obviously, you get hull down, but don't just find that hull down golden spot and sit in it for the entire match. But I mean, if I'm really comfortable with the tank and I find what works for me, I'll say that's what works for me. This is what I've had success doing. This is how I find the tank. And I think I'm finally getting a handle on the Chieftain, and I think my problem was I was playing it far too aggressively, and it feels to me, correct me if I'm wrong, but to me it feels more of a support tank, like the Carnarvon, like the Conqueror before it, and it's very accurate, very good aim time, and I feel that you're not quite up on the front line, right up in everybody's faces, but just slightly back. And I know I am quite far forward here, but the T110 E5 that's across here with me, I couldn't leave him on his own. I was planning on supporting him from back there, not so much camping at the back, but trying to move up and give him supporting fire. But I couldn't just leave him on his own up here. There are a hell of a lot of tanks for us to fend off. But this is a very strong hull down tank. See if I can get one in the side of the E75. Nope. Not know where that one went. My accuracy's off, I think, with this. I don't know if I was just being a bit too keen on trying to pop up and back down again. But I've been getting burnt a lot in the Chieftain today. Arty has been punishing me again. They know that these have very weak side armour, and high level artillery love to just drop one on you when you're in the Chieftain. Now, went a little bit too far over there, but I managed to put one through the turret of the Object 430. Oh, and there's an IS-3 snuck round. That'll teach me for not paying attention to the map. Right, well, the T110E5 is doing a damn good job of holding them off, so let's see if I can punish this IS-3 for trying to be sneaky. I've got to keep an eye on my left flank, though. I don't want to take any shots in the side or the rear from those guys. Now I can use my gun depression to shoot down at him and hopefully keep my lower plate hidden, although he wasn't even looking at me, so I didn't really need to worry too much there. Right, he's nearly dead. He is dead. The T110E5 finishes him off. So I know there are a couple of guys still left up here. but at the minute they're not spotted. There's one, E75. Nope, not quite good enough gun depression. I can get that one though. Try and aim for the lower plate and it goes through. I think this is possibly one of the best games, if not the best game I've had in it so far. And it wasn't amazing, it wasn't brilliant. Oh, damaged his ammo rack on the E75. Just waiting for the reload, not quite quick enough. Although is he popping back up? And I think I donk a shot at him here. Yeah, there you go. My aiming was off slightly again. Although it's been a very busy day today at my house, so I was a little bit distracted as well. But I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I think I was just donking a few. Right, so there's just the lone E75 up here, and he's not feeling quite so brave. Now all his mates have been killed off by, mostly by the T110E5, but with a bit of help from myself. And I was just making sure that the E5 was actually coming along with me, which he is. But yeah, now he's got two tier 10 heavies facing him down. He's not quite so brave, and I don't think I would be either. In fact, I wouldn't have even stopped there. I'd have gone. And yeah, donk it into his upper plate. It bounces, so I'm just going to rush down the hill and get alongside him. Try and beat his reload, which I do because the reload on this is fantastic. So now carry on round, and we're starting to claw out a lead. It was looking a bit iffy at one point, but we've sort of brought a few back. And now hopefully we can go through the new underpass. I was actually considering going up and over, but I thought no, I'll go through the underpass. I'm not going to expose my lower plate popping over the railway, and see if we can give some supporting fire. Managed to put one into the T32, track him. Somebody finishes him off. I think it was the T110E5. Again, he had a good game. Straight through the lower plate of the Tiger 2, damaging his engine. Not quite enough to set him on fire though. And I've got his lower plate again. There we go, nice and easy. Through that tier 8. Just like you'd expect, to be honest. I am a tier 10 after all. So let's see if we can't start clearing up some more of these bad guys. Bad guys. Jesus. A flashback to being like 8. Got the back of an M103. Going for the engine shot again to try and set him on fire. And there's a perilously low health M103 there, so I'll finish him off. And the rate of fire on this is absolutely fantastic. Not quite fast enough to finish off the other M103 though. Now, we've got a heavy, which is there. We've got a medium and we've got a tank destroyer. Medium's up the other end of the field, but there's still a tank destroyer, so I don't want to go herpa-derping straight across the middle of this open ground. I'm going to stay up towards this end where I've got a few lumps and bumps. There's the tank destroyer. Now I didn't check what it was, it's a Yag Tiger. Now, they can be very dangerous, as we all know, but I managed to get one through his lower plate. He takes another hit from somebody else and he thinks, sod that, I'm going on. And he backs off, and I don't blame him. Now I'm just keeping an eye out for him popping back up, but my plan is to get down into this low ground below his gun, and if he does pop back up, hopefully I can put one through his lower plate again, and if it doesn't finish him off, which I don't think it would from the health that he was on, then the other guy with me might be able to put the finishing shot in. There's that WZ1114114. They really need to come up with a better name for that, or a shorter one at least. And here comes the Yag Tiger, and I'm trying to get to his side, and I take a bit too long aiming. I just wanted to make sure it went in, but he turned and it bounced. But he takes a big hit from the other tank that's with me. I think he's an IS-7 actually. I didn't get a proper look at him, and I managed to finish him off through the lower plate. And then there's just the WZ11114 left, but I'm not going to get there in time. Obviously nobody else thought it was a good game. Oh well, I did. Best game I've had in the Chieftain so far. But, like I say, now I've got a handle on it. Hopefully there'll be much better ones to follow. But just over 4,500 damage done. A Confederate, which is nice. And a first class mastery, which is also nice actually. I didn't think I'd done well enough to get a first class. I was expecting maybe a third or even a second. But that was a pleasant surprise. Came second, and as you can see, the T110E5 did have a pretty good game with 7,000 of his own damage done. Me, not so much. Most of the shots I fired seemed to hit, but a lot of them bounced, which was, I think, down to poorly aimed shots from myself. But, like I say, now I've kind of figured it out. Fingers crossed I'll be able to bring you some whopping damage Radley Walters Pools medal sort of game in the near future, if I keep my fingers crossed and pray hard enough. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think I've got one Radley's so far still chasing the Pools. But I've got another one coming up for you right now, and it's in the Centurion 1. So here we are for the second replay. It's Sand River at night, tier 8 battle, and yeah, standard battle as well. I just forgot what I was going to say then. And I'm in the Centurion Type 1, the British tier 8 medium tank. I've got it fully upgraded with the quick fire 20 pounder Type A, 226 pen on your standard rounds, which is pretty damn good to be honest. 230 damage, which is okay, a bit less than a 90mm, which is normally standard for a lot of the tier 8 mediums I've found, apart from the Russian ones. 258 on your premium ammunition, which is very good. I feel for, well, I say very good. It is about average, I think, for a tier 8 premium. It's just that the standard ammunition on this is quite a high penetration, so it makes the premium ammo look not quite as good. 7.5 rounds a minute, which is, I found it a little bit disappointing to be honest, coming from the Comet, which has a much faster rate of fire, and with the Centurion 7.1 having the 20 pounder after this, has a rate of fire of 10 I think it is, although I could be mistaken on that. 2.3 second aiming time, 0.33 accuracy, which is also pretty damn good. Minus 13 degrees of gun depression, which is really good. Not a bad medium. The hull is not very good though, unfortunately. 76mm on the front, 51 on each side, 38 on the rear. The turret is quite bouncy though. It's got quite a good angle just behind the gun, and if you can accentuate that by using a ridge line, you can bounce quite a lot of shots off it with the 165mm and 112 on the side, 112 on the rear. Now this is from last week I think it was, and it was when I was trying to grind out to the FV4202, and I didn't make it unfortunately because I lost a day, so yeah, this is as far as I got. But the reason I've put this one on is because it's one of those rounds where I was kind of taking it seriously. I'd been having a funny day on it, and I was just having some fun really, as you can see by the fact that I rammed that VK2801. I was like, where are you going, sunshine? I don't think so. So managed to, well, not quite take him down. That honour went to the CDC, but I'm going to try and work my way around the base, because the majority of the enemy team, apart from the lights, seem to have gone round the west and southern way. But sixth sense gone off. I was pretty sure there was going to be somebody guarding base. There is normally something camping up on that ridge. Just like with the other base, there's nearly always something. In fact, no, there is always somebody camping the ridge, and you're lucky if it's not one of your top tier heavies. But there's a T28 prototype up there. Try and fire on the move and miss. He manages to hit me though. Luckily doesn't track me, and he starts pulling back into cover. And I was going to go up and over, and there's our artillery. Well, not our artillery, the enemy artillery, but there is artillery. So I know that he's not got the firing arc to get me up here when I'm so close to him, so I'm going to pull back and I'm going to try and use this bit of a lump to get... No, I'm not going to use the bit of a lump. That was a different point. I was going to try and go for artillery, but the T28 prototype had a go, and I managed to set him on fire, which is nice. And again, I must admit I wasn't taking this 100% seriously at the time. Try and set him on fire again, but just damages fuel tanks, and he manages to penetrate that time. But now something else has drawn his attention, but I have got a shot at the front of him, so I'll put one in, And the rate of fire is good enough to finish him off. I didn't realise he was tracked until just watching this on the replay. Now, this arty is going to be tricky because he can't hit me up here, but as soon as I peer over that ridge to try and kill him, he's going to put one through my lower plate. So, instead, I'm just going to sit on him. And that's how you do it. And again, you can see I'm not entirely taking this completely seriously at this point, and I think sometimes you have to, when you're trying to grind out tanks or complete an op, and you start taking the game very seriously and you start getting stressed with it and everything starts to irritate you, and I think every now and again you just need to step back and have a match where you're not really taking it seriously and you're just trying to have a bit of fun rather than, you know, really grind out and do loads and loads of damage. And a lot of the time I find that I have good rounds when I do that, although it looked like the signal was being a bit iffy then. So we've got T25 AT. I've got a shot and managed just to finish him off for a small amount of damage, but damage is damage. Now we're at the enemy cap circle. There's 5 tanks remaining. I'm on about a quarter of health, so I've got to be cautious. And I think, do you know what, I might just back up into the cap circle and try and draw some back. You know, I might be playing for fun, but that doesn't mean I've got a YOLO and be an idiot. Just not take it completely seriously. But no, I do like sitting on tanks whenever I can. Not me personally, but you know, with my tanks, I do like to try and drop on people from above whenever there's an opportunity, and it's not going to cost me my tank. Now I can get some shots at that Tiger 2. Can I hit his lower plate from here? No, went slightly high, but I've got the side of his turret, which is a much better target. If it just sits still a minute. That was close. That just went in behind the gun. That was lucky. And there's just the AT-15 left. Not going to get down to get him. But yeah, there you go. That's when I was grinding out for the FV4202, which unfortunately, like I say, I didn't make it because I lost a day. So that was unfortunate. But never mind. I'm sure it'll come on sale at some point, and when it does, I'll try and pick one up and give you a review of it or something. But not too savage. Just under 3,000 damage done, and I got a sniper medal out of it. But it was just a good, fun match. And I think one of the reasons I put it on is just to show you that you can just not take it quite so seriously and just have a decent game, and it does relieve a bit of the stress of when you've just got idiot teams or people trying to shove you out of cover and that sort of thing, or when you get one-shotted by tier 10 artillery and a tier 8 tank at the beginning of the match, which happened to me earlier, which was not fun. Anyway, got a very short one coming up for you next in my little M4. So here we are, Northwest. I'm in my tier 5 American medium, the M4 Sherman. It's a standard battle and it's a tier 5 matchup, which was nice. The first time I've been in this for a while actually today, and like I say, I think this was actually after the match where I've been one-shotted in my tier 8 medium at the beginning of the match by a tier 10 artillery, which again wasn't much fun. But I keep this around with the dirt howitzer on it because I think when you get in a tier 5 match, just racing up to people and slamming a high explosive shell through the side of the tank, and normally one-shotting them or coming very close can be quite a good stress relief, to be honest. And again, it's another just a fun game. I went in it, just have a bit of fun, blast around, see what damage I can do, and then go back to grinding out some of my higher tier tanks and the stress of the higher tiers. So, like I said, I've got the 105mm Derp howitzer, 6.67 rounds a minute, 53mm of penetration on the HE, which is the standard ammo, with 410 damage. And it's only got one other ammunition, which is heat, with 102mm of penetration and 350 damage. 2.3 second aiming time, which is a bit on the slow side. 0.55 accuracy, which is positively Russian in its inaccuracy. Oh, but I just don't get the guiding hand of Stalin to help me with my shell, so I just have to aim better. Minus 10 degrees of gun depression, which is really good. Quite a nippy little machine. 48 kilometers an hour, 460 horsepower engine, 37 degrees on the hull and the turret traverse. Not particularly well armoured, but not bad either. It's got good sloping on the front, and if you angle it properly, you can bounce the odd shot, especially coming up over ridge lines. And this keyhole is about to have a very bad day. One, nearly killed him with the shot. Two, set him on fire. Did kill him with the fire. Yeah, so back to the armour, sorry. 51mm on the front, 38 on the sides and rear. And the turret is a neat 64mm all round. And like I say, you work the ridge lines in the M4. And if there is something big and slow, and you've got a bit of space, you can circle and pop these high explosive shells through the backside. Oh, T-67. Oh, that was a T-67. It's for instances like that. Paper armoured tanks, high explosive shell. I've got enough to penetrate and one-shot you, which is always fun and satisfying. So, 2 shots fired, 2 kills. Valentine AT. I almost feel sorry for them at the minute. I feel a bit dirty. So 3 shots fired, 3 kills. I don't think I can keep that run up though. Not with the KV-1S around the corner. And a tank destroyer, but I didn't see what it was. An SU-85. Right, so I've got to be careful now. Let's get serious a minute. Right, put one into him. I'm surprised that penetrated actually. Although, did it? That was splash, that seemed to be a lot. I've just got the corner of him. No, they were both splash. But yeah, 158 splash isn't bad. And can I reload? I can, just before he manages to get a shot on me, which was nice. Now, there was a medium tank up there. I'd seen him on the map. So I turn around to think, where is he? And then all of a sudden, he pops up. And he hasn't noticed me. Poor guy. Honestly, I laughed my ass off when I first did that. With him just sneaking round the corner, looking the other way, thinking he was being oh so sneaky and clever. He's like, nope. Wrong side, dude. I'm over here. And I was just going, hopefully, for a top gun on this. And then our team capped out. We were winning 12-5 and they went for the cap. How frustrating. So no Top Gun for me today, but nevertheless it was a good fun match, and yeah, it was a good stress relief, and I went back and had a couple of decent games in the Chieftain again. So I came out of that with a high caliber and a second class master in 1200 damage. I'll just have to console myself with that, and that Top Gun got away. But there you go, top of the table again, which is always nice. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen today, and well, I hope it's been entertaining for you, and if it has, don't forget to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because it really helps out. And hopefully tomorrow I'm going to be back with an ammunition guide, because a lot of people still aren't quite sure what to use and when. Anyway, as always, take care out there, and I will catch you next time. See you later.